I've just had a lot of fun with this project, and I'm happy that I was the TA. It's really exciting to see how students grow throughout this semester as designers and now as sheep lovers.
I teach knitwear design in the fiber science apparel design part of human-centered design. Teaching it is about teaching skills and techniques, but it's also about teaching vision and storytelling. So normally in my knitwear design course, we start with the story. We start with the design direction, maybe with a prompt. And then we choose the materials from there. We choose the yarn to work with from there. And a lot of the yarn on our shelves is acrylic. We choose yarn often mostly for color, right? Maybe texture. And I've just been concerned about microplastics. I've been concerned about the amount of acrylic that we just use in our own studio. But also just in the fashion industry at large. About like 65 to 75% of the fibers used in the fashion industry is synthetics. Only 1 to 2% is animal fiber.
No, it's not an easy process. It's very time intensive, costs quite a bit of money and time to get from fiber to product.
Compared to when I took the class, there wasn't this focus on local wool, but I grew up in upstate New York, so I've been around sheep and farms and seeing students who don't come from this area get to interact with local wool and then make products out of it.
So this is more of a downy wool, and if you feel them side by side, you can feel the difference in that. That has a lot more loft, right? That doesn't felt as hard as that does. And they're really different structures.
Fashion designers and designers in general are problem solvers, but we can also be problem makers, and we're making problems right now simply by the materials we're choosing to work with.
One thing that we do when we get wool in here, MJ mentioned weakness. If you take one small bit of wool like this and you pop it like this, an animal that's been sick throughout the year, the fleece will pop in half. It'll actually have a break in it. And that just signifies that there was some sort of health issue or maybe a really difficult pregnancy, something like that. But again, it will affect your yarn long term.
In terms of the storytelling aspect of the design process, I wanted to also focus on that material as the story, right? So, what story does the wool have to tell? And through this process, we end up becoming part of the story, right?
Yeah.
We're right there, like at the tail end of this manufacturing process. It starts with the animal, then it goes into the processing and the spinning. And so the idea was that we would follow that process along from the beginning to the end, which is us, right? We're creating the products from this wool. And if we get to know all the players along that pipeline, how is that going to inform our design choices? And what stories are we going to choose to tell with that wool, right? Once we get to know all the people and also even the animals that are part of that process.